I should not be telling you this. That is the first thing you need to understand. What I stumbled into while tracing your energy field was not meant for my eyes. It was encrypted, hidden behind layers of mundane routine, buried under excuses like, I was just thinking about you and this reminded me of that time. Camouflaged so perfectly that even you, with your razor-sharp Virgo radar, have not detected it. But I detected it. I saw the fingerprints. I followed the money trail. I traced the late-night searches, the canceled reservations that were rebooked under different names, the conversations that happened in group chats where your name appeared just a little too often to be casual. And now that I know what I know, I cannot unknow it. And you, unfortunately, cannot unread what I am about to lay in front of you like evidence on an interrogation table. Someone has been planning something behind your back. And before your stomach drops, before your Virgo defense systems boot up and start scanning for betrayal, let me stop you. This is not the bad kind of behind your back. This is not gossip. This is not sabotage. This is not the ex scheming or the coworker undermining or the friend secretly jealous. This is the opposite of all those things. This is someone, or maybe multiple someones, operating in the shadows of your life like a team of architects drawing blueprints for a building you did not ask for, on land you did not know you owned. They have been moving pieces while you slept. They have been making calls while you were busy being responsible. They have been spending money, arranging meetings, coordinating schedules, and leaving a trail so faint that only someone specifically looking for it would ever find it. And I was looking, and I found it. And what is coming is so far from normal that normal will need a new definition by the time it reaches your doorstep. Let me start with the money, because I know that is what made your finger stop scrolling. I know that is why you clicked, and I am not going to make you wait, but I need you to understand that the money is not the story. The money is just the loudest clue in a crime scene where every piece of evidence points to one unavoidable conclusion. You are being set up for a life you did not plan by hands you did not see, and the setup is so elaborate that it borders on obsession. Here is what I found. A transfer. Not to you, not yet, but scheduled. Scheduled with a specific date attached to it that made my blood run cold when I saw it, because it aligns with a window in your personal astrology that only happens once every several years. Someone has timed this. Someone has consulted someone, maybe an astrologer, maybe a financial advisor, maybe their own intuition, which has been screaming at them to act on your behalf. The amount is not small. I am seeing figures that start with a 5 or an 8. 5,000, 8,000, 50, 80. For some of you, it is a single lump sum that arrives disguised as something else. A refund you did not file for, a bonus you were not told about, a check from an account you forgot existed. For others, it is a stream, a recurring deposit that begins on a specific date and continues without explanation until you finally call someone and demand to know where it is coming from. And when you do call, the person on the other end of the line is going to sound confused by your confusion. It is yours, they will say. It has always been yours. Someone just finally made sure it got to you. Who is this someone? I am getting multiple signals. For about 40% of you, this is a family member. Not your immediate family. Someone a little removed. An aunt who has been watching your struggles from a distance. a grandparent who decided, without telling anyone, that you were the one who deserved the inheritance they had been quietly building, a cousin who made an investment in your name years ago and never mentioned it because they did not want you to count on something that might not pan out, and now it has panned out, and the paperwork is done. And the only thing left is for the universe to deliver the envelope, the email, the direct deposit notification while you are standing in line at the grocery store or sitting in traffic or scrolling through your phone at 2 a.m. wondering why you cannot sleep. For another 30% of you, this is a lover or a would-be lover or an ex who never stopped loving you and finally found a way to translate that love into a language your bank account understands. I know how that sounds. I know it sounds transactional, but love, real love, wants to remove obstacles. And for you, Virgo, one of the biggest obstacles has been financial instability. Not because you are bad with money, you are probably excellent with money, but because you have been carrying weights that were never yours to carry, debts that accumulated while you were taking care of other people, opportunities you turned down because someone else needed you more. And this person, this shadow architect, has been watching. They have seen you skip meals to pay a bill. They have seen you wear shoes with holes because someone else's need came first. And they have decided, without consulting you, without asking for credit, without expecting gratitude, that your suffering ends now. That the next chapter of your life begins with a zero balance and a full tank. That you will never again have to choose between your dignity and your survival. And for the remaining 30%, this is stranger. This is the universe itself operating through channels so convoluted that tracing them back to a single human hand is impossible. A class action lawsuit you did not know you qualified for, a stock you forgot you owned, a property that appreciated in a neighborhood you moved away from, a creative work you put online years ago that suddenly went viral and generated revenue from sources you cannot identify. The money is coming from everywhere and nowhere. It is the cosmic equivalent of finding a wallet on the street, except the wallet has your name engraved on it and it was placed there by hands you cannot see. But here is where it gets really strange. Here is where it stops being about money and starts being about something that should not be possible. The person or force behind this transfer has also been planning something else, something parallel, something that intersects with the money at a point so precise that it feels engineered by a higher intelligence. They have been planning a meeting, an encounter, a collision, and they have timed it to happen within hours, maybe minutes, of the financial arrival, so that when you check your account and see the number that makes your hands shake, your phone is going to buzz with a message, or your doorbell is going to ring, or you are going to turn a corner and run directly into the one person who knows exactly why you look like you have just seen a ghost, because you have seen the ghost of a future that was planned for you in secret, and the ghost is real, and it is smiling. I need to describe this meeting, because it is the centerpiece of the conspiracy. This is not a random encounter. This is a rendezvous. Coordinates have been exchanged. Timelines have been synchronized. Someone has been waiting for the exact right astrological window, the exact right phase of the moon, the exact right moment when your guard is down and your heart is open. And they have been preparing for this meeting with the intensity of a general preparing for battle. They have rehearsed what they will say. They have chosen their outfit with forensic care. They have practiced their breathing so they do not faint when they finally see your face and realize that all the planning, all the secrecy, all the late night anxiety was worth it. What are they going to say? I am hearing fragments. I did something. I hope you are not mad. I could not watch anymore. You deserve this. I have been keeping a secret. These are the opening lines. The softening blows, the verbal equivalent of removing a Band-Aid slowly, and then they're going to show you the proof, the receipt, the confirmation email, the bank statement, the legal document, the key, the whatever it is that proves this was not a dream, not a fantasy, not a delusion. This was real. This was planned. This was executed with military precision while you were busy living your life, unaware that someone had declared themselves your secret benefactor. And your reaction, Virgo, is going to be the most interesting part, because you are going to feel 15 things at once. Gratitude, yes, but also rage. Rage that you needed this. Rage that you were in a position where a secret rescue mission was necessary. Rage that you have been so good at hiding your struggle that someone had to go behind your back to find the truth. You are going to want to yell, I could have done it myself. And you could have, eventually, slowly, with more scars than necessary. But this person, this shadow architect, looked at your path and decided that eventually was not good enough, that slowly was too slow, that your scars were already deep enough, and they intervened, not because you are weak, because you are precious, and precious things are worth extraordinary measures. I want to speak directly to the part of you that feels betrayed by benevolence, the part that says, if they really respected me, they would have asked first. I understand that part. It is the part that has been in charge for a long time, the part that believes autonomy is the highest virtue and that any help received without explicit request is a form of condescension. But I need you to consider another possibility. Maybe they did not ask because they knew you would say no, not because you do not want the money, not because you do not want the meeting, but because you have been trained to say no to good things, trained by disappointment, trained by a world that taught you that wanting too much is greedy and accepting too much is indebtedness. They went behind your back because your front door was barred, because your inbox was set to reject, because the only way to get this blessing to you was to smuggle it past your defenses. And now that it is here, now that the package has been delivered and the meeting is scheduled and the plan is in motion, you have a choice. You can reject it on principle. You can return the money. You can cancel the meeting. You can tell the architect that their methods were invasive and their presumption was unwelcome, and you would be within your rights. You would be completely, totally, unimpeachably within your rights, but you would also be wrong, not morally wrong, strategically wrong. Because this plan, this conspiracy of care, is not an isolated event. It is a test. It is the universe checking to see if you are finally ready to receive. And if you send this back, if you slam the door on this delivery, the universe is going to note your response, not punish you, just note it, and the next delivery will be smaller. And the one after that will be smaller still, until you have trained the cosmos to only offer you crumbs, because you have proven that full meals make you uncomfortable. Do not train the cosmos to offer you crumbs. You have eaten crumbs for long enough. You have survived on crumbs. You have built a life on crumbs that you arranged into beautiful patterns so no one would know how hungry you were. But the architect knows. The architect saw the hunger, and the architect has prepared a feast. Not a crumb more, a feast. And the feast is not just money. The feast is the meeting. The feast is the recognition. The feast is the undeniable, irrefutable proof that someone saw you. Really saw you. Saw the you that you hide behind competence and reliability and the smile that says, I am fine when you are anything but. They saw that you, and they decided that you were worth a covert operation, worth the risk of your anger, worth the possibility of your rejection, worth every sleepless night they spent wondering if they were doing the right thing. Let me tell you about the architect, because I feel them so strongly that it is almost intrusive. For those of you where this is a romantic connection, I am getting someone who is not your usual type, not the person you would have picked from a lineup. They are quieter than your exes, more observant. They notice things that other people miss. The way your voice changes when you are lying about being okay. The way you rearrange objects on a table when you are nervous. The way you deflect compliments by changing the subject. They have been collecting these observations like evidence, building a case for your worth that they plan to present not in a court of law, but in the court of your heart. And the money is Exhibit A. It is not a bribe, it is proof. Proof that they pay attention. Proof that they remember the conversation where you mentioned casually, in passing, 6 months ago, that you were worried about a bill. Proof that your casual mentions are sacred texts to them. Proof that they have been translating your silence into action while you thought they were not even listening. For those of you where this is family, the architect is someone who has been carrying guilt that they had more than you, guilt that they watched you struggle without stepping in, guilt that they prioritized their own comfort over your need. And something happened, a health scare, a birthday with a 0 on the end, a dream where you appeared younger, asking for help they did not give, and they woke up changed. They woke up with a mission, and the mission was you, not to buy your love, not to assuage their guilt, but to correct a cosmic imbalance, to restore something that was broken, to say without saying, I see now, I see what I missed, and I am here to make it right. Even if right is just a number in your account and a weight off your shoulders. For those of you where this is the universe operating anonymously, I want you to know that the architect is you, a future version of you, a version that has already lived through this storm and is sending resources back through time. Every decision you made in the past 5 years that felt foolish, that felt naive, that felt like you were throwing seeds into barren ground, those seeds grew. They grew in secret, underground, where you could not see them. And now the harvest is pushing through the soil. The money is the fruit. The meeting is the flower. And you are the gardener who forgot she planted the garden, walking out one morning to find her yard overflowing with abundance she does not remember earning. But she did earn it. She earned it with every kind word she spoke to a stranger, with every extra hour she worked without complaint, with every time she chose integrity over convenience. The universe keeps a ledger, and the ledger is about to show a balance so positive that it will feel like a mistake. It is not a mistake. It is justice, delayed but absolute. now. I need to prepare you for the weirdness, because what is coming is not just money and a meeting. Those are the headline events. But the fine print is where the real magic lives. In the days leading up to the delivery, you are going to experience a series of micro miracles that feel like glitches in the simulation. You are going to find money in pockets you forgot existed. Not big money, a 20, a 50, just enough to make you pause and look at the bill and think, where did you come from? You are going to receive messages from people you have not thought about in years, and their messages will contain information that is weirdly relevant to your current situation. You are going to have dreams where you are given numbers, and those numbers will appear in your waking life within 24 hours. You are going to feel watched, not in a creepy way, in a protective way. Like someone has assigned a guardian to your shoulder, and the guardian is terrible at being invisible. These are the breadcrumbs. The architect is terrible at stealth. They think they are being subtle, but their energy is so focused on you that it leaks everywhere. You will feel it in your sleep. You will feel it in your appetite. You will feel it in the strange urge you have to check your email at odd hours, or to take a different route to work, or to say yes to an invitation you would normally decline. Your intuition is picking up the signal. It knows something is coming. It has known for weeks, maybe months. That is why you have been restless. That is why you have been cleaning things that do not need cleaning. That is why you have been standing in front of your closet feeling like none of your clothes fit, even though your weight has not changed. Your energy body is expanding. It is making room for something bigger than your current container can hold. And the container is about to break, not violently, like a seed husk splitting to let the sprout through. I want to address the fear that is already rising, the fear that says, if I accept this, I will owe something. The fear that says, nothing is free. The fear that says, there is a catch, and the catch is going to destroy me. I need you to hear this with both ears. The only catch is your own resistance. The only debt is the one you invent in your mind. The architect is not keeping a ledger of favors. The universe is not a loan shark. What is coming to you is not a transaction. It is a restoration. It is the return of something that was stolen from you by circumstance, by other people's choices, by a system that never valued your contribution properly. You are not receiving charity. You are receiving back pay. And back pay does not come with strings. It comes with receipts. And the receipt says, paid in full. But there is something else, something I almost missed because it was hidden so carefully inside the plan. The architect has planned a second surprise, a surprise that has nothing to do with money and everything to do with time. They have cleared their schedule. They have arranged their life so that when this lands, when the money hits and the meeting happens and the dust settles, they are available. Fully, completely, terrifyingly available. Not for a day, not for a weekend, for a season. They have decided, without telling you, that the next chapter of their life is co-authored with you. And they have made space for that co-authorship. They have declined other offers. They have ended other entanglements. They have prepared a room in their life, literal or metaphorical, with your name on the door. And they are going to show you that room. They are going to hand you the key. And they are going to wait with a patience that borders on religious devotion for you to decide whether you want to enter. This is the part that is not normal. This level of intentionality, this level of premeditated care in a world of swipe right, maybe later, let's see where this goes energy, this architect has committed. They have gone all in. They have burned the boats on the shore of your island, and they are standing on the beach with nothing but the clothes on their back and a blueprint for a future they hope you will help them build. That is not dating. That is not situationshipping. That is a declaration of war against every mediocre connection you have ever tolerated. That is someone saying, I have seen the menu of available humans, and I am ordering you not to taste, not to sample, to keep, to nourish, to grow old with. And the money? The money is just the down payment. It is the earnest money. It is the proof of funds that says, I am serious about this investment. They are investing in you, in your peace, in your stability, in the version of you that is not distracted by survival and can finally focus on thriving. They know with a clarity that should frighten you that you cannot build a cathedral while you are worried about the rent. So they paid the rent, they bought the land, they cleared the permits, and they are handing you the hard hat and saying, now we build. I need you to understand what is required of you in return. And this is the hardest part, because what is required is not money. It is not reciprocity in the financial sense. What is required is presence, vulnerability, the willingness to be seen, receiving, the willingness to let someone else be the strong one for a change, the willingness to say thank you without adding, but I will pay you back, the willingness to say I needed this without adding, I should not have needed it, the willingness to let the architect see you cry, not from sadness, from the overwhelming, terrifying, universe-altering relief of being chosen, of being fought for, of being worth a covert operation. If you can do that, if you can stand in the receiving without flinching, then the plan enters phase 2. And phase 2 is where it gets really interesting. Phase 2 is where you stop being the object of the conspiracy and become its co-conspirator, where you and the architect start planning things together, trips, projects, a life that is bigger than either of you could have built alone. Phase 2 is where the money becomes seed money for something generative, a business, a home, a creative endeavor that has been waiting for exactly this infusion of resources and belief. Phase 2 is where the secret becomes the foundation, where the behind your back planning becomes the in front of you building, where the surprise becomes the new normal. But if you reject it, if you return the gift, if you cancel the meeting, if you tell the architect that their methods were presumptuous and their gift was unwelcome, then phase 2 never happens. The architect will not force you. They will retreat. They will accept your no with a grace that breaks their heart, and they will carry on. But the plan will be dismantled. The room with your name on the door will be repainted. The cleared schedule will be filled with distractions, and you will go back to your life, a life that is perfectly fine, a life that is completely manageable, a life that is exactly the same size it was before. And you will wonder years from now, when you are lying awake at 3 a.m., what would have happened if you had said yes, if you had let someone love you loudly, visibly, financially, without requiring you to earn it first. Do not let that be your 3 a.m. regret. Do not let your pride be the villain of this story. Your pride has protected you. It has kept you safe, but it has also kept you alone. And the architect is not asking you to abandon your pride. They are asking you to set it down for one moment, just long enough to accept what is being offered. Just long enough to say, I see what you did, I see the planning, I see the risk, and I am saying yes. I want to close with a warning and a promise. The warning is this: in the next 72 hours, you are going to receive a sign. It will be small. It will be easy to miss. A repetition of numbers. A song lyric that punches you in the chest. A sudden memory that surfaces without invitation. Do not dismiss it. That is the architect's energy brushing against yours. That is the plan moving into its final phase. That is the universe saying, pay attention. The delivery is en route. The promise is this: what is coming is real. It is not a fantasy. It is not a manipulation. It is not a test. It is the culmination of someone's quiet devotion and the universe's delayed justice. It is huge money. It is a huge heart. It is a huge shift in the trajectory of your life. And it is already in motion. The wheels are turning. The signatures are drying. The transfer is pending. The meeting is scheduled. The room is ready. The only variable left is you. So here is what you do. You open your hands. You unclench your fists. You drop the story that says you have to do everything alone, and you let the architect in, not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to know that a life built entirely by your own hands is a life with no room for surprise. And surprise, Virgo, is the only proof that the universe is still paying attention. Let it pay attention to you. Let it shower you with everything you were too proud to ask for. Let the plan unfold. Let the conspiracy of care succeed. And when the money lands and the door opens and the architect stands there with their heart in their hands and their blueprint at their feet, do not ask questions. Do not negotiate. Do not analyze. Just step forward and say the only word that matters: yes.